French onion soup is a classic. It's a combination of beef stock and caramelized onions, topped off with slices of crusty baguette and melted cheese. French onion soup was first served in 18th century Paris. The types of cheese typically used were Gruyere and Parmesan, but you can also use Swiss cheese, Gouda, Fontina, or even mozzarella. Julia Child helped to popularize this delicious soup, so in honor of her, I'm making a variation of Julia Child's French onion soup recipe. If you're new here, I'm Christine, and on this channel I feature cooking videos and healthy living tips. If you enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Let's get making our French onion soup! I found these wholesome ingredients I'm using at Basil Bandwagon Natural Market. First, we're going to heat a Dutch oven or heavy bottom stock pot over medium-low heat. Once the Dutch oven is hot, add 3 tablespoons of butter and 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Add 1.5 to 2 pounds of thinly sliced onions. This is about 5 or 6 cups. If you're like me and your eyes get teary when you cut onions, onion goggles are the way to go. Ta-da! If you get any of these little green sprouts in the middle of your onions, just be sure to remove those because they can taste bitter. I want to point out that when you're slicing onions this thinly, you want to have a safe grip on the piece of onion that you're cutting. So I like to use piano fingers, or what's known as a paw or claw, so that you're keeping your fingers tucked in, and then you're just carefully using your sharp knife to slice downward. I'm going to flip that over so it's a little safer to cut. But see how my holding hand, my fingers are tucked in, there's no way I can cut myself. My knife would just bump up against my fingers if I slipped. Take it slow if you're not used to cutting like this, and really just take your time to cut safely. So that's about 5 or 6 cups of sliced onion. You'll also want to grate some onion. So this is about 1/4 of a large onion, or you can use about 1/2 of a smaller onion. Cook and stir for a few minutes. You'll notice I'm still using my onion goggles even through the cooking process because I find that onion aroma is just so strong in the kitchen. It's still getting to my eyes, so the onion goggles are just great for preparing this whole soup for anyone who's onion sensitive. Cover the pot and cook on medium-low heat for 20 minutes, stirring occasionally. The onions will become very soft. Increase the heat to medium-high. Add 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt and 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. I'm using coconut sugar, but you can use regular sugar. Cook and stir until the onions have caramelized. They should turn brown and be very soft. The volume will also cook down. Reduce the heat to medium-low. Add 3 tablespoons of flour and stir. Cook for a few minutes until it thickens. If it gets too thick, you can add a little bit of butter. Stir in 1 cup of beef stock. The brand of beef broth I'm using is Kettle and Fire. It's made from 100% grass-fed beef. Cook and stir for a few seconds. Add 5 more cups of beef stock. One-half cup of white wine. I'm using this Eden brand Mirin, which is a rice cooking wine, but you can use any white wine. and an optional 1/2 teaspoon of dried ground sage and 1 bay leaf. Bring to a boil over medium-high heat. Reduce the heat to simmer on low for 30 minutes. Preheat the oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Arrange 8 1-inch thick baguette slices on a baking sheet. I'm going to throw on a few extra just for good measure because we can always have them on the side. Lightly drizzle or brush each side with a little olive oil. Bake these for 15 minutes. Turn the bread over and bake for another 15 minutes. Season the soup with additional sea salt and pepper to taste. Remove the bay leaf if you did end up using one. Now you can add an optional 2 to 3 tablespoons of cognac. I'm not adding this, but you can feel free if you want to stick with Julia's original recipe. Now we're going to add our grated onion to the soup and give it a little stir. We'll also need 12 ounces of grated Swiss cheese. Add 2 to 3 ounces of this grated cheese to the soup. Place the toasted bread on top of the soup. Sprinkle with 10 ounces of Swiss cheese. Sprinkle the top with 4 ounces of grated Parmesan cheese. Drizzle the cheese with a little olive oil, or you can use some melted butter. Place the Dutch oven in the preheated oven, uncovered, and bake for 30 minutes or until the cheese melts. You can turn on the broiler if you wish to brown the cheese a little. Remove the soup from the oven and let it cool a bit. This smells so divine you can't even imagine. I can't wait to dive into a bowl of this. Oh my gosh, so flavorful, so comforting. You're gonna love this. It's not always pretty eating French onion soup. I'm chopping up this bread with my spoon here, just so I can get a morsel of that with my taste. Bon appetit. Oh, wow. Merci beaucoup. Thanks, Julia. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make this Julia Child-inspired French onion soup. Let me know in the comments what your favorite soup is. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Gosh, that really holds the heat.